Welcome back to another episode of the free VST Plugins Detective, where I review, test out, and demonstrate various VSTs. For this one, we have the TAL Reverb 4. They've made other reverbs, so this is kind of the fourth version of the reverb plugins that they've made. And let's just jump into it. Honestly, I've actually not used this one yet. Sometimes I review plugins before I do this video, and I give you my rating right off the bat. This one, though, I've not used yet, so let's just see. Now, first off, I actually like this GUI. It's very smooth, very, very sleek. And as you can see here, I'm able to see the exact kind of parameters and the exact settings that they're on. I like that. So this is going to be the main synth that I'm going to be using reverb on. Right, so you're hearing it dry. Okay. Now, let's go to some presets. You know, start with presets and then kind of move from there. Cool. Very short. Ooh, okay. I like the sound of this reverb already, honestly. Ooh, that's kind of cool, actually, because I feel like that's not really much as reverb, just kind of... Yeah, just subtle. I'll probably do this thing. Yeah, but, alright, and then... Oh, that's it. Okay, so let's go to... Let's initialize... Oh, wait, let's go to default. So, obviously, on this plugin, we have the main modulation, EQ, and volume. Now, it's interesting that you have that here. What I'd probably do, honestly, is I'd probably parallel process, and I've talked about this before. Parallel processing is... That's not what I meant to do. Parallel processing is super helpful. Basically allows you to get one dry chain and one wet chain. You know, to give a brief example, a brief analogy, I think is a better way to word that. A bit of a weird one, though, is you know how when you go to a liquor store, how they have the pre-mixed drinks, just making something simple. Let's say you can buy a pre-mixed rum and Coke, right? It's already pre-mixed for you, so you basically pour it, you drink it, pre-mixed rum and Coke. Well, the tricky thing is, if you want to make it more alcoholic, you can put more rum into it. If you want to make it more Coke, or basically less alcoholic, you can put more Coke into it. But the problem is, you're stuck with that pre-made mix. No matter what, you're stuck with that pre-made mix. That's what's like using sometimes with a reverb and having it be on like 38% wet, for example, right? But when you parallel process, it's like having rum, Coke, and a glass in front of you, and you can customize it as you go, right? And I think that's the best analogy I can come up with. Parallel processing is super helpful, although it seems like because this has both a dry knob and a wet knob, maybe you can parallel process it within the DAW itself. I'm just used to doing this. Actually, within the, within the DAW. So you can do this. Right, so you have wet, and then dry. So now you have both. So that's how I'd probably do it. And then, so actually we have basically the size. The diffusing amount. And then the delay. Right. Modulation, the amount. So things become almost like an LFO. And then obviously EQing. Now, EQing, if you're parallel processing, you don't necessarily have to do that. Within this. Again, I actually don't like a lot. If I'm doing something quick, yeah, this works. But this is a case, and this is what's good with parallel processing. Now it can affect only the wet chain. So if I want to do this. So if I was actually trying to put reverb on this. No, I'll probably put it back here. This here. Alright, and then... Right, so that's how you can basically parallel process, but I'm going to give this one, honestly, I'm going to give the full rating. I'm giving it the 5 out of 5. I think the reason why is, one, I love the GUI and the layout and everything, but I think this one, I love the algorithms that it uses. Probably one of the best free reverb plugins I've used yet. I will say when people ask me, oh, like, what's your reverb plugin that you typically prefer or use in your tracks? Actually, it is the stock reverb with an Ableton. So I'm usually a lot more picky when it comes to a free plugin because I'm like, I already have the stock reverb in Ableton. You know, I can easily affect the reverb here like so. I don't have to, you know, open up the plugin and everything. But this one's very comparable. I love the sound quality of it and everything because some reverb plugins I've used, it's just too much sometimes, and obviously, again, I can obviously heavily make this reverb a lot, but sometimes the algorithms it uses, I'm just not the biggest fan of. This one, though, is very sleek and very, very smooth. I'm a huge fan of this Reverb plugin. Definitely pick it up.